benefit concerts to donation blood drives, members of the community are reminding the victims of the New Year's Day terrorist attack that they are not alone, that the city is doing what it does best and coming together to support one another in a time of need. To pledge their support, city contractor and entrepreneur Sidney Torres is partnering with local faith leader, Pastor Jacques. They are both here to share how the community can join in. And I know I just asked you, first off, good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. I know it's early. This is such an important initiative you all are taking part in, and it came together out of both your desire to just help in the community. Tell me more.
Well, again, this all came about as a result of the terrorist attack on Bourbon Street. We were both out early in the morning on that fateful day doing what we felt like we could do to help our city in that hour of need. And after the early morning prayer on New Year's Day, where we reopened Bourbon Street along with our city leaders and officials, Sidney and I encountered one another as we were disbanding, and we both had the understanding that there was something more that needed to be done. Honest to God, Sidney was the one who came up with the idea that I need to do more, and thank God that he wanted to use his blessings that God had blessed him with to contribute to help those families in need that had just incurred such a horrendous and heinous act of violence that cost them and their families something great. So we know that we can't replace their loved ones, but on the same note, we also understood that we can do something to help ease the burden and the pain that they just experienced.
Yeah, I think we hear that there's a lot of, donations or blood drives, but for people who are in the midst of this, their world has stopped, yet the real world continues to move. So I think it's important that we have fundraisers like this, because it takes care of one last thing they have to do while their world is frozen. Now, you said you were out there 4:15 praying. Sidney, can you tell us about more your role in the city and how you were out there at that time?
Yes, we are the city sanitation contractor for 95% of the city, including the French Quarter. And so we clean up every day. When everybody leaves the streets, we clean up, and we're the first ones out there. We were out there right before the accident happened, and we witnessed what happened. My guys took it really hard. And after they decided that when it was time to clean up after they cleared the crime scene, I went out there around 11 p.m. and checked the scene to see what type of equipment we would need to clean up the areas. It was very special equipment we had to bring out to clean the area. And I saw it, and I just felt like there needs to be prayer. There needs to be something before we just clean this up. And I ran into Pastor here, and later in the morning, and it was just meant to be, because I feel that burial is very expensive, and buying whether it's a casket, cremation, it's a process that takes time, costs money, and I felt like if we can ease that pain, and Pastor partnered with me to help assist with setting the guidelines on what we're going to do, and he'll explain a little bit more about that. Yeah. But if we can do that, I put up $200,000. We raising money. If somebody wants to give, that's fine. We're not really asking anybody to give money. I put up $200,000, and we're actually going to do, and you can explain the process and how it works, Pastor.
Yeah, let's explain that. Yeah.
Well, it's designed to help with the basic needs and necessities of funeralizing your loved one. And that covers the cost of, some families prefer to have cremation so that they can have their loved one's ashes around their necks and certain other ornaments, and others prefer to have a burial where they deposit their families in a place that they've chosen. What we've done is we've partnered with several of the funeral homes around the city. We called them to find out what the average cost is for either service, and then once we got that, then we established that there's a certain cap, because of course we know we live in New Orleans and everybody wants to do the elaborate thing, right? We can't get involved in that because there's so many people who will have a need of this fund, not only as it pertains to those who perish, but those who still are alive. And so we want to make sure that these resources that Sidney has made available are able to go. So what they have a responsibility, if they want to gain access to these resources, they have a responsibility to call the phone number at 504-701-7397. and they'll talk directly to me, or they can go on the email, and the email address is ivrelieffund2025@yahoo.com. Either way, they can put in their application, or they can make it known to us that they're a person who are in need of these resources, and then we will immediately do what's necessary to get those funds directed to those funeral homes that are in agreement with us. We've already helped 3 families in the process of this, and so we're looking forward to being a help to many more, and to help alleviate the burden that they have.
That they're dealing with.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate y'all both so much. Thank you for doing this and for telling us more about it. And we have that information available on our website as well, wwltv.com, so that you can go on and apply if you're in need. Just make sure to join us again at 8 o'clock for more ways to give back to the cause as well.